So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage once again, Elena.
Thank you, Reen. Thank you so much for waiting until afternoon. I know this is kind of tiring time, right? I won't disappoint you for the tips. So before going on, I'd like to introduce on the credits first. So there are some terms and conditions, but I will make it very short for this $200, okay? So basically, we're helping you. Basically, we'll give you $200 US dollar click credit on your ads console, but we need two actually disclaimers. Number one, there's a qualifying action, which actually you have to do this action to get the credit. So what is the section? You have to create a new sponsored products campaign. The bidding or budget depends on you, but you have to create a campaign with no end date. Okay, with no end date from October 31st to December 15. We have 1.5 months to go. If you create a new campaign, we'll verify it, and after we verify that you have created, we'll give you this $200 US in December 31st. And it's applicable to use for your ads console about 2 months till February 13 or February 15. Okay? So please remember, probably you will all do the campaigns till end of the year. So please remember this date. From October 31st to December 15, create a new sponsored products campaign with no end date. Okay, budgets or bids it depends on you. Just no end date, and keep it for a while. Then we'll verify you, and we'll give you the credit by December 31st in your ads console. Okay, and you have to make sure that you're doing this on. So on qualifying action and the period, October 31st to December 15th. Okay, if you we'll actually give you another email for information to check after this event. So please see the full terms and conditions after this event as well. So $200 US, don't miss it. I actually created for our existing sellers as well, not only new. So you're all applicable for this. So remember the date and the action. Okay. All right. This is a super advanced one. So even though this looks a little bit difficult, do not actually disappoint. Okay. It can be a little bit different, and you can take the pictures if you want. Something that you might want to just take it for your reviews and post reviews later on. I actually gave, this is the first time I'm actually going through the reports analysis in a full scale in the big summit for Singapore. So if this is a little bit too advanced or a little bit too difficult, I think I will just get the questions in Q&A right away. So please just take it into yours and then ask me the questions, okay? So the ads are kind of very complex ones, and we do also acknowledge that. So I think Bradley is also here, but the tools are super important. If this helps you, we actually want to encourage to use it with Amazon and the tools together. But internally in Amazon, reports is the key. Reports is the place that we just start with. But have you actually gone over the search term report? Not many, right? Anyone who has opened the search term report? Raise your hand. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Targeting report? Targeting report? Okay, thank you. Impression share report? Thank you. I think some of you actually sellers are actually raising your hands, but not all 9, right? So today, what I want to do is taking some reports for the advanced analysis, what you have to do and troubleshoot by the results. So for example, if this situation, what do I have to do? If this situation, what do I have to do? So there will be several reports coming up. So there will be some reports that you have never seen, actually. You've never downloaded it, but it's fine. You can take it to your home, and you can actually prioritize, look at it. All right, okay, there's my face over there. Okay, all right, so targeted optimization analysis by sponsored product reports. So actually for sponsored products, we have 9 reports ready for you. Of course, we have sponsored brands and also sponsored display ready for you, but I think the most important thing are sponsored products, right? For sponsored products, we actually divide into 4 criteria. So if you see by the left to the right one, the first one is about the ad selection. So ad selection is what do we have to prioritize to put the ads on? We have 2 reports to mix together, advertise report and purchase product report, these 2. I think a lot of sellers have not seen these 2 a lot yet, but this is super important. Basically, thinking about investment, right? So whether you're putting the right amount to the products that you're selling or not. You have to check it, whether the purchase and the advertising matches together. The first one is this. That's why we have put in the first one to look at it. If you haven't done, you have to do it right now. Now, the second one is about the keywords optimization and targeting. So there are 3. These 3 are all important. Now, the third one is the campaigns. to prioritize a little bit, the green ones and the blue one, the very dark blue ones, I think it can be the purple one as well. These are the ones after these two, ad selection and optimizations. However, these are also important as well. So actually we'll pick some of them and looking at how to troubleshoot by the results, right? I think it was very, very easy for you, right? This is how to download a report, just in case if you're not really knowledgeable of the how to download reports, go to report section and as campaign manager, go to the icon of the graph, click it, and then create a report, and you will see 9 reports coming up. Okay? Right, okay. And you can download by your preferences what you want to see. All right, then let's start with the orange one. If you have, okay, I think it will be a good time to do it. If you have an ads console in front of you, you can do it right away with me, how to do it. So you can download a report and see it together. So there will be 2 reports you will see on an ad selection. Ad selection meaning that what you advertise versus what you're actually selling. Does it really match or not? This is the start of efficiency tracking. Sometimes you're selling A and you think A is selling. But in fact, we saw that the A you advertise, but B is selling. This is where you have to mix these two. In our webinars, we actually gave the file to create this one. So this is kind of introducing our seminars, but every Fridays, we actually provide some Excel file for demo for you to actually create these kind of report mixes. So please be sure that you're actually coming to our as webinars every different weeks. Now let's go to the orange one. All right, so for ad selection, the first one we'll see is about the advertised product report. This is super important because we're giving you the results of the sales and the performance metric of ASINs that at least there's one display on it. So basically, you advertised, and whether it really was actually leading to the advertised and the purchases, you can check it. Now, I distributed 3 different sections here. So the every reports will divide into 3 sections: high performing, mid performing, and not performing as well. So you'll see the colors actually designating the ones there. So let's go for the very performing well ones. So if you download the report, you make the largest to smallest on the impressions, largest to smallest on clicks, and largest to smallest to ROAS. Now, the thing that you have to do is the top 15 or top 10, which are working well, you have to do 2 things. Number 1, you have to increase the budget, and you have to increase the targeting beat. Now, you've actually seen in S200, how much do I have to increase? 10 to 20% for the fast, continuing the process. These products and these keywords or these ASINs are the one that you have to sell really well. Now, the things that have a low impressions in the blue, so there are no impressions. If you see the example in the table, you will see that the impressions like only like 1,400. Absolute number point of view, it's not really low, but compared to other 3, it's kind of low there. So impressions there are a little bit low. What you have to do is, now you have to separate this one. Why? You have to give a separate budget to prevent budget competition among your products, which means this might be something that you are actually putting so much, and it's actually dragging all these, not to invest the other ones who are performing well. So this is what you have to segregate. You have to take out for another campaign and put out the other campaigns, right? Now, another one, high impressions. So we're actually selling you, and you can see, and we're actually giving to customers that you guys are attractive. Your products are attractive. Now, the problem is we have impressions like clicks, but then conversion and ROAS, return on ad spend, is kind of low. What do we have to do? Number 1, you have to optimize product detail pages, okay? This is a cue. So you have high impressions, which means you're ready. So we think that, oh, I want to actually give you placements. We're pushing you. But low conversion. So I think I talked a little bit on the Ask 200 as well. Number 1 reason, we might not be actually perfect. Could be. There will be some reasons we have to check about it. So in detail pages, you have to at least have 5 different quality images, 5 to 6 images. The headlines point of view about the 3 different phrases, keywords that you have. 5 to 6 bullet points, and A+ contents. If you don't have it, you have to go back. Or another one is, you have to optimize keyword and product targeting to find more accurate traffic, this is what's called competitive targeting. So, not because of us, but competitors are exclusively doing well in my product pages. Let's get an example. So, I will just give a Q&A. Sir, what kind of category are you selling, actually? Pet products, okay. So pet products, let's see. Yeah? Okay, I'm selling with the pet product, and we have a detailed pages, and we saw that, oh, there are a lot of impressions and clicks going on. We saw that, but there's a low conversion. Oh, probably we are not ready yet, could be. But then, after looking at that page, we see that there are a lot of pet products all around the world. All of the placements are getting all those your placements. Let's say your best competitor A, B, C are just getting all the placements from the bottom to the top to the bottom. Then in customer's point of view, definitely there will be only at least one dropout there, right? So not because of us, but there will be because of others and competitors. And it might actually be true to especially advanced sellers. So what you have to do is you have to use product targeting. Product targeting, sponsor product, sponsor brand, sponsor display. At least use one of them. If you're affordable, mix those two. It will actually generate more ROAS for you in terms of advertised product. All right, let's go to the purchase product report. So why is this important as well to advertise product report? So this is where you have to compare these two. You advertised it, and actually what was sold out. Interestingly, there will be two different types. The number one is for products that perform well, which means the advertised ASIN is the same that ASIN that was purchased. This is scenario that we want, right? We advertise and we sell. This is a perfect scenario we want to generate. For this one, after checking it, we have to expand the bidding. Now, what we actually recommend is to play by BD by placements, okay? Basically, getting more placements, which have more impressions and clicks probability, you can change it. However, there will be situations that arise in the blue one that ASINs you advertise is different from the purchase ones. For example, like one of the sellers explained to me, the pet product. Let's say I'm selling for the pet. Do we have a jerky? So is it jerky that we eat? Is it? For example, we're selling jerky A. Now, we thought that jerky A was selling well. We advertised it, and then we opened a report, and jerky A is not the one which is sold. We found that jerky B was actually being sold, right? That's where you have to think that, oh, there are a lot of dropouts from my page to another pages. Now, what you have to do here is that you have to direct the traffic inside, we call it a cross-sell. You have to actually make the traffic to go to different pages together. So you have to set up the ads campaigns of the bring high sales product. For example, A and B. So we target our product A to be placed in product B, and product B to be placed in product A. So even if they drop out, and it was advertised, but it was going to the purchase ones, we drove this traffic into Will. So at least end of the day, we make the sales in our brand, not other brands. Okay? These two are exceptionally important, especially for advanced sellers. These two reports are the core versus other ones because you're selling well and you have to efficiently manage it. Okay? Now, the second one is about the keywords optimizations, search term report, search term impression share report, and targeting. Now, in terms of the keywords and targeting strategies, number one, we will say a search term report. I think this is the core. That's why we use a lot of tools, a lot of keywords, strength to maximize, okay, what is the keyword that I want to bring? What is the keyword that I have to generate the sales on? So I also divide into three parts, high performing, low performing, and also the ones we have to negate it. The first one is actually very straightforward. High keywords, you have to grab it till you actually feel that you have a share of ultimate 100% of this keyword. You have to continue getting that share. You shouldn't lose it. So for that, what we actually want to generate is, if you have moved to auto to manual, that's perfect fine. If you haven't moved to manual, you have to move it. So this is time you have to move to a separate campaign. Okay, after moving to separate campaign, bid a little bit aggressively at the first time. The range over 10 to 20%. This is where you have to get the most of the share in the first place. This is where you have to play around. You shouldn't lose it. Okay. Now the second one is low impressions, low conversion, and low ROAS. This is something that's kind of sad, and also a little bit where what we have to do it. Now this is what you have to negate it. Okay. Don't be afraid of the negative targeting. I think I get a lot of questions that, hey, what about I do negative targeting and actually creates no traffic to my campaigns, right? There's some other hesitations, right? Oh, if I do negative targeting, wouldn't I just lose a lot of opportunities? Actually, Amazon actually detects that as much as possible to help you, that to negate the terms that really doesn't really work for you. And if it correlates, for example, in lifetime, you didn't have a conversion about 6 to 7 months, but you're still doing the keywords, that's a little bit the waste of your budget. So you have to negate it. If you actually need a timeline, at least, for example, 3 to 4 months after doing the campaigns, if there's no conversion, we recommend to put in negative targeting. Okay? Now, low impressions, but high conversion, high ROAS. Anyone who will think about what we call this keyword? Low impressions, but high conversion, high ROAS. Something that low clicks, low CTR, but high conversion, high ROAS. Anyone? Long tail, thank you so much. It's long tail keywords. This is the core. So after high performing hero keywords, this is something we have to cultivate for a longer period of time. This is what we really want to recommend. This is where we have to grab as a share the new one. So you have to create a separate campaign. So basically, to a little bit play with it, have the hero campaign separately, another campaign with the long tail keywords, and then give them enough budget to full exposure and conversion. You can test and learn for 1 month. Whether we have a strong impressions and clicks coming up after separating campaigns, you monitor it. So basically, we actually continue the 2 campaigns in parallel, hero and long tail keywords. And we see that how much budget we have to move between these 2. So obviously, when we first start, the high, this red one, orange one, will take about 80 to 90%, it could be. But later on, you can slightly move on it performing well on the green one. All right, so a little bit of the wordy ones, but search term impression share rank. Okay, we call it as SIR, search term impressions. So this is the term actually can be like this. Let's assume you're a customer. You search, let's say, what kind of keyword we can test about. Okay. What's your hero keyword? Baby? Baby high chair. Okay, so baby high chair. Let's say, yeah? Let's go to Amazon.com. I search baby high chair. Click it, right? And then the first 4 placements that we see, right? The top of search, right? In the top of search engine that comes right away. That's called top of search. So search term impression share is whether how much rank or how much share do you have to be appearing in the top of search. So the higher the better, right? The higher, the greater that you have, that more exposure to come, more impressions to come. So if you open it, you will see different selections. Like, for example, there will be 2 pillars, rank and share. Okay? You have to check these 2. So open it, rank and share. You compare these 2 together. So if the first one you have to do is you actually take it by impressions first, largest to smallest. So after opening this report, making the largest smallest, the largest impressions, verify it, whether it matches your keyword search terms or search term report, and go with it. And now what you have to do is you have to compare the share and the rank. Okay, so high impression share. So if high impression, the share together, this is where you have to put as a main hero keyword. Recommend to improve the bids and budgets by 10 to 20%. I think you will get some sense, right? If you're really doing well, slightly gradually increase the bids and budgets by 10 to 20. That's a recommendation. Now, it's a high impression but low impression share. Let's see. You have a lot of impressions, okay? But then you have a low share. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means that there are so many competitors with you on that keyword. So what you have to do is you actually take this keyword to a separate campaign and actually put more budget on it to have a full exposure, okay? Right, now, another one. You have a low impression, but high impression share. What does that mean? It means that direct competitors are few. For example, you have a little bit of impression share, but you're like taking 50% of the share. That means that only another one competitor is dealing with you. This is where you can grab a lot of share at the first time. So what you have to do is, it's recommended to find out who that competitor is. Let's assume this one. Okay, I'm getting impression about 1,000. But my impression share is about 45. What does that mean? It means that we have a rank on the pillar, and my rank is 2, for example. So I have low impressions, but my impression share is 45%, but I'm the rank 2 of the keyword. That means the number 1 will take about over 45. So there's a big competitor dealing with you, and you might know who that is, actually. Open this report. So what we have to do is find out who they are, and then put our ads on their product pages. Get all the traffic to you. And there are some keywords you have to do. All right? Low impression and also, okay, so low impression and low actually impression share point of view, you have to make it a long tail keyword. I think there's a typo in here. Low impression share means that this is something that you have to test. This can be a long tail keyword. Now, this is about the targeting report. A little bit slightly complex. Things that we might not know in the first place after search terms such as impression share, but this is worth to see also. The targeting report it actually shows you the sales and performance metrics from keywords, products, and categories used for all the targeting. So it actually divides into targeting level, different from campaigns. You can see by different targeting components. So for example, you're targeting the very high-performing ones, targeting blue teddy bear, 12-inch teddy bear, Jack and Jill, cozy pal teddy bear. So if high impressions, high clicks, and a high ROAS point of view, of course, you have to increase the bidding, that this is the one that you have to play with. For advertising point of view, there are two things that I want to really ensure. So for the high-performing ones that you shouldn't lose, go aggressively, especially when the event's coming up. We have 4 weeks to go, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You shouldn't lose the share. You shouldn't lose the impressions. For the ones which are generating the most, put a little bit more aggressively. Now, this is the time, 10 to 20%. Another advertising strategy is, if you have budget limitation, I don't really want to put more budget on it, I have limitation, I have hesitation on it. Inside what you're doing, negate the ones who are doing inefficiently, okay? You can just continue what you're doing for the budget, but you can just take it out, the inefficient ones first place. You don't have to put on top of it every time. So, to be honest, when you actually open the report, the two things I want to really ensure is you go for the orange one, and you go for the green ones, okay? High performing, increase. Low performing, get it out, or make it a separate campaigns, okay? Now, this is also targeting report as well. The most important thing is put the bidding 10 to 20% more to the high performing, and also for the low performing targeting, low impressions, low clicks, low ACOS, high ACOS or low ROAS, then we have to optimize the listing or you negate it. All right, so in optimizing campaigns, we wouldn't go all of them. I will just select the one, which is the placement report. Okay, for advanced sellers, placement is extremely important. So from the budgets or biddings, now it's time that you have to play by placements now. So let's assume that you have a CTR coming up. You have a campaigns, okay. Let's assume that you open the console, okay. How many campaigns do you generate? How many campaigns do you have? Let's take a poll. How many campaigns do you have, for example? How many campaigns do you have in your ads console? 5. Oh, that's pretty decent. Any more over 100? 100? Good. 200? 200. All right. Okay. 200. All right. That's a huge number. 200. Over 200. I think I'm doing a beating here. Over 200? Over 200? No, 500? 1,000? All right. I think there are a lot of campaigns right now. All right. Now this is time you have to clear it a little bit. But the most important thing is put the budget where you're spending well and performing well. And the last step is about the placements now. So placements is either you bid more on top of search or you bid on the product pages. By different categories, it can be different all the time. For example, some categories work better in product pages, where a lot of dropouts and customers are moving around. For example, in some of the marketplaces, let's say, for example, the beauty category. For consumer point of view, when they just come into product detail pages, they just don't buy right away. Let's assume it. They go to other pages, they go to other products, and they come back. Then the product detail pages point of view, there will be several ones. So the conversion-wise, it can actually work well on product pages rather than top of search because there will be more competition on the search pages. Now, what you have to do is put more bidding on the placements where you perform well. And this is based on this report. Placement report. And it gives you by placement how many impressions and how many clicks are generated and how it performs. So better ones, always the orange one, high performing advertising campaign and ad placements wise, high impressions, high clicks and high ROAS. Keep the campaign, increase the budget, and prioritize the top of search if the top of search works well. If product pages, you can actually opt the bid for the product pages as well. All right. Last one of the placement report. So if it's underperforming, a little bit wordy, but let me just go very quickly on it. So, but blue ones, if it's underperforming, what do I have to do by placements? So it's actually different. You see that there are 3 different stages, where the impressions are important, where the CTR is important, or even the conversion is the point. So there will be 3 different metrics that you will actually mix. So low impression, low clicks, few orders, but high ROAS. Increasing impression is the key, right? To increase the impression, what you have to do is put the budget to a placement where you're performing well, okay? Now, the second one is high impressions, but low clicks and fewer orders. What you have to do, think about it. What do you have to do? Increasing the CTR, click-through rate, how to generate it. Then to CTR point of view, you combine the search term report with placement report, and then think about where to target by products in different ad solutions. Okay, the last one, high impressions, high clicks, but fewer orders and few ROAS. The conversion is the key. How we convert it, either by detail pages, we will optimize it to be 100% customer friendly, or improve targeting accuracy. So in the slides where Amazon ads say, oh, targeting accuracy, targeting relevancy, is a little bit more on how we can actually put ourselves into competitors. So dragging the traffic, gain the traffic from competitors, and how we can grow based on the competitor share as well. All right, the last one is about the performance over time report. We will actually not go through this one, but this one is actually good for you to target and optimize based on the timeline that you have. So not every time, right? Sometimes you go to Ads Console, you check the lifetime, or you check the monthly or weekly, and then you see, oh, I want to see by the over time how it actually moved through the performance. This is a report that you can check, actually. So last but not least, this is, we won't cover it, but you can take a look. It actually gives you a track the total span of performance for your account, for sponsored products campaigns, and other solutions as well. All right, so these are 9 major reports. The priority-wise, it can be different from you based on how you're placed at. But the most important thing is to focus on the first 2 and moving on to the next level by the reports analysis. All right, so as I mentioned, if you were a little bit late, let me just reiterate really quickly in summary. So this $200 click credit is available for you here. The 2 things you have to remember, first of all, create a new sponsored products new campaign with no end date from October 31st to December 15th. Then we'll verify it, and we'll give you $200 click credits in December 31st, in the end of December. And please remember, you have to put no end date, because we can verify the campaign. This is for you to have a higher ROAS based on our internal research. So sponsored products, no end date, new campaign during October 31st to December 15th. Don't forget, and the get click credit in the end of December. All right? Thank you so much for the complexity, but thank you so much. I'll get the questions if any questions. Yes?
Jermaine in the front.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Question. For new sellers, we already got this $200 ad credit. Is this $200 on top of it, or is this gonna be very much the same $200 ad credit for new sellers?
Got it. So new seller incentive $200, right? Is on top. So this is separate by Ads Console. The $200 from new seller incentive is different. So basically, up to $400 you can get it.
Okay. Right. But then this one with the condition that you have to set up on 25th of October onwards.
Correct. So this is applicable when you're in a promotional period to make a new campaign from October 31st.
October 31st.
31st to December
Right.
15th.
Right. So for new sellers, we can commence setting up an ad campaign immediately, leveraging, using the new seller $200 credit. And then this one itself, 31st, we can set up a separate one. How does it work?
That's one of the scenario. So actually, the 200 for new seller incentives is quite a very different ones.
Okay.
And
So,
then, yeah.
So they basically they apply independently.
Correct. It's independent. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Independent.
Thank you.
I think we have, Jeremiah, we have a, okay.
Hi,
Hello.
just want to ask one question. On the advertising platform, right, how do we find very good long tail keywords besides just automatic targeting? It's automatic targeting first, right? The campaign.
Okay, sorry, can you actually put more microphone on here? Because I cannot hear well, sorry. You can do it, sorry. I'm so sorry about it. You can just put in here.
I guess he's asking how do you find more long tail keywords based on extraction from your auto campaigns, broad match campaigns? Yeah, it's just what are the best practice for this?
Long tail keywords.
That's right.
Okay. Have you actually attended our Ads 200? Did you attend S200? No?
So no.
Okay. In S200, we actually shared 2 strategies to make long tail keywords. I think you can find out here there as well. But in long story short, there's a very, I would say, data-based one and also efforts-based one. I'll actually distribute these 2. So the data-based one is you can download a report. Okay, you can download a report, and what you have to do is you make the conversion, the CV, the 7-day conversion, right? 7-day conversion to largest to smallest, and you take another pillar called CPC. Take the one which is below the average of the CPC on all your campaigns. So high conversion, low CPC, that's the potential long tail keyword by the reports, insertion report. That's a data-based one. But efforts-based one is about a combination. And in the S200, we showed you the table that you can actually combine the keywords together to test it. So I think you can do the parallel for these 2 strategies for long tail. Yeah. In database one, there will be more tactics to do, but that's a very quick one. You can actually select for long tail. Yeah. Right. So sorry, I cannot. Yeah.
Would that be the workshop for that?
Workshop?
Yeah.
I'll create it for you. I'll create for Singapore for long tail keywords
Thank
in
you.
November. Stay tuned. I will definitely go over with our team later on. Yes, definitely. Let me go over the long tail one. I think the most important yeah. I will create. There will be a workshop in the webinar. So let me create it. Let me quickly create it for November and December. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your voices. Hello.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if you've covered this already, but so taking his example, say if I'm selling pet food, yeah, and say I have a keyword dog food, okay, which is obviously the most common in the category, therefore high bid, high impressions, all of that. But then therefore my investment, my bid will also have to be quite high. So in that case, if I don't have that kind of budget, is it better to go for long tail then? So say do like dog food for, I don't know, bone health or old dogs or young, whatever, you know. Is that a better strategy for brands who don't have that kind of budgets?
Got it. So you want to, the very basic one to start with is you use the general category keywords like a pet food, dog food, but then the CPC is quite high. Let's say it goes to like $2, $3, right?
Correct.
And then another one that we talked about long tail is we create ourselves. So
Correct.
is this the first one or is this the first one?
Correct.
Sorry? This is a very, very good question. Okay. I don't want to be obvious here. But it's to start with the in parallel, but you can lower the bid for the first one. Don't go for the overbid on the first one. Rather, a little bit higher the bid for the long tail first. And we see it in parallel which performs better. Yeah, let's try that for 1 month. Yes. Any more questions? Yes.
About the $200 credit. So once we created the campaign, do we have to inform account manager or?
Oh, so verification, whether you
Yeah.
did or not. We automatically verify based on your data. So we actually, based on the registration data that you put on the merchant token when you're registering the event. So, okay, this is applicable for the sellers who already have registered Amazon selling. So for the account who doesn't have the Amazon account, but who are not sellers cannot get it, unfortunately. But if you have the ads console and have the account, we automatically verify based on your ads console usage, and we will send you at end of December. Okay. Can you take the mic, please?
So do we create a campaign like how we create usually? So we don't have to key in any promo code or merchant token?
Yes, definitely. So that's why the only two things to remember on that period, October 31st to December 15, that's one. And also you create the sponsored products campaign, new one, with no end date, they will automatically verify you on that date. So you don't have to put any promo code or any other actions. We'll verify and give you. If any cases that you did it, but we can miss, definitely that can happen, then we'll definitely get the cases from you and we'll verify it. Okay? Thank you. Yep.
What's the best practice for variation campaigns? Do I lump multiple assins into one campaign, or do I split it into individual campaigns?
Okay, variations. Okay, there's a best practice I will share you. So let's assume that you have one product. Well, is it variations by colors or different functions? Designs. Design's a little bit tricky though. We had the practice from one of the top China seller that if only color variations, for example, so all products are same, but like like color difference or a little bit of the like a length or the width, you put in one campaign all ASINs together, and you take for about 2 and 3 weeks together, and then you find out which is working well. Then you move on to select the hero ASINs based on the one group. But then designs-wise, is it a very big difference? Oh. How much difference is it?
For different events, I guess, like totally different designs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But this is applicable for only the minor differences. So for example, only color, length is applicable, but if design is so different, for example, like TV, Bluetooth TV versus normal TV.
Well, we're actually selling paperbacks.
Paperbacks?
Yeah, paperbacks. So
designs-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I think it can be the case that I discussed. So you can put the first on all the ASINs together in the first campaign. Then you will see that some of the ASINs getting them some traffic. Then you move on the first with the hero ones. And the other ones, you can keep that in the campaign and test another period of time.
Right. So I segregate out the ones that are working well.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Any more? Okay.
We don't have enough time, so I think
sorry,
we're
I
good.
took much time. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, you
Thank
guys are really milking her, but that's good. Thank you so much, Elena.